Now, you already learned about the CRUD. Okay. So what is the CRUD? So before I mentioned to you CRUD demo. Okay. Here, CRUD demo. So what is CRUD? This is the core for. So CRUD stands for create, read, update, and delete. Okay, so we call this is C, R, U, and D. Okay. So when we use the GUI, okay, so actually we already did that one. We create. So we create using the plus button. If you read, so you read, just press the refresh, you can read the data. When you update, so you can change the data on the table and then press the submit button. And then when you delete, you can just press the minus button, then you remove the data. So those kind of things are the common operations in the database. And we can use the SQL with the CRUD. So this section we are going to learn. If we are creating the data, so we will use insert into. If we read the data, we use select from. If we update the data, we use update. And if we delete the data, we use delete from. So we'll check how to do this one by one. So you have the idea, okay, how to deal the action. And the previous section, we used the SQL Alchemy with the ORM. And now we are going to use the raw SQL or the structured query language. If we add the data, we just use the add object. But in the SQL, we will use insert into. If we want to find the data, we use the db.query and then define what is the model and then do the filtering. But using the SQL, we use the select start from. And then we will have some condition where. If we want to change the data, we have this one, object.column equals to value. But when you use the SQL, we need to use the update set. When we want to remove the data, we use db.delete object. But when we use the SQL, we use delete from. Now, let's take a look one by one. I want to add a new data. And this new data, it will be a new data in the post. So I'm going to insert the data into the table post. And then in the post, there are 5 attributes. Answer text, question ID, created at, dislike, and like. And I'm going to put the values. So the values mean use LLM. This will be the value for the answer text. 1 will be the value for question ID. Current timestamp, it will be the value for created at. 0 will be the value for dislike. And this is 0, it will be the value for the like. Okay, now let's just use the SQL. And you can use this console for the SQL. Okay, before we use the select. Now you can see if you put on the SQL, it will connect directly. Answer text is use LLM. Question ID is 1. Created at is using the current timestamp. Dislike, it is starting with 0, and like, it is starting with 0. So now let me run this as well. Okay, I will run this. After I run this, now let me check on the push. And then I will refresh. So I can see there is a new data. The new data is use LLM, and it refers to the question ID 1 created at this time, and like is 0 and dislike is 0. Okay. So this is the way to insert or create a new data. What about read or look at the data? So we are going to select the data from the post where the question ID is 1, and okay, there is another kind of condition. I want to sort the data by the date. So I'm going to use the date data, and this will be in the descending order. And I'm going to check the question ID equals to 1. So this is the SQL. And then let me check. I will update this one with the select star from post where the question ID is 1 and order by created by descending. The ESC is descending. Okay. So you can see the data has been shown, and it is started with the newest one. Descending means descending means the latest one. Okay, because descending is from the highest or the top or the largest. So it is from the latest one until what is the earliest of the time. So you can change the created by, for example, using the answer text, for example. Okay. So if I'm using the answer text, means I'm going to start with the text. Maybe it looks by the starting of the characters, W, U, and so on. Yeah, the format will be still the same because W is the last, and then U is the prior before the W. I'm going to update. Update means I'm going to change the current data. So let's see. I'm going to update the post. So the post here, the answer was use LLM, but I'm going to update it. I do not want to use that one. So let be the answer text will be study with friends. Instead of use LLM, just study with friends, and then let be the ID equals to 2. So the ID equals to 2 means this one, this ID. I want to change the answer text from use LLM into study with friends. Then if I run this, now let me check on the post. Now the data has been changed, study with friends. But delete. So I'm going to put this insert. So let me input another data. So I'm going to insert a new data. So this data will be inserted into the post table, and the answer text here. Just go to Bing. Maybe the person asks you to find something material from Bing, and then it is related with the question ID 2. Created at this current timestamp, this like equals to 0 and like equals to 0. So I can run, for example, this one. Okay, so after I run this statement, let me check. So there is the answer. So the row number 3, go to Bing. So this is the time. And then now, let's say that, okay, after I add the new data, I do not want that data access. So I want to remove it. And I can just delete from the post where ID equals to 3. And I will just do this one, delete from post where ID equals to 3. So I can press the play button and then let me check. Now the data in the ID tree has been leaked. Okay. Yeah, so that's the very easy Python. And sorry, that's the easy SQL. We can use the console. However, in order to run the website, we need to run the SQL with the Python code. So the one that I showed you before, I'm using the console. And if you are using the console, it means you need to have another user interface. In this case, yeah, we need to find out how to execute the SQL using the text. The text means I'm going to connect with Python code. I'm going to connect with Python code. So first define the SQL and then connect it to the database and execute it. And at the end, do not forget to run commit if it is necessary to insert or update the value in the database. So the commit means something that you need to do for insert and update. Now, let's create a new file. We can create a new file SQL demo. We can create a new file, Python file SQL demo. Python file. And then let's copy and paste this one. So before we run it, let's take a look on this code. At the first part, it is to run the text from the SQL Alchemy. So it means whenever we have an SQL, we will convert the text from the SQL Alchemy. And then the database, I'm going to import the engine. So when we connect to the database, let's connect to the engine. So before we do the SQL, let's connect to the engine, and the engine connection, let's make it with the name connection. So I'm going to make the query. So the query means something that you already did before. For example, the text is select star from users, where the ID equals to user ID. So this user ID is something we need to define. When you create this correction, so I'm going to connect to the database. Let's execute the query. So the query is from this text, and then I'm going to put the user ID equals to 1. It means this user ID will have the value 1. And the SQL now becomes select star from user where the ID equals to 1 because the data that I sent is 1. Now, we can check the row. Let's say if I'm looking for the data more than 1, at least you can show all the data. Okay, so we can use the for loop. So the result is from the connection for the database, and then we will show the row. For each row, we will show the user ID and the name. So we complete with the template. So you can see here is the using the Python with the curly braces. With the curly braces, this is the common Python syntax. And then let's check. If I run this code, okay, the user ID one, we have the name is trial01. Okay, and we can run this database connection with the SQL using this text. Okay, for this read section, again, let's maintain the header. And after you run the previous codes, let's highlight and comment out the syntax using the control slash. So I will just block this one and control slash to block this one. Now, let's create some data. Now I'm going to create this. I'm going to create a data using this statement. I'm going to insert a data, and the insert data will be using this SQL statement, insert into post. So the same with the console. Okay? In the console, we have the insert into the table name, and then define what are the variables that you want to insert. In this case, I'm going to insert the answers, the question ID, and the created ad. And then the values, this is just an example. I give the answer like check at Google, and then the question ID is 2, and then put the current timestamp. And after I have this text, let's execute the statement of the query and then do the commit because I'm going to insert the data. Let me run. So update has been completed. Now let's see in the post. If I refresh, now we can see a new data. Check at Google. Yeah, a new data. After we do the SQL with text in the Python code. So after you do with the create, let's again comment this one in order to skip this execution. Now I want to update. I want to update the data. I'm using the update code. So the command will be the same. The statement, I'm using the text, and then this is just the SQL that we already learned before. So whenever you have the SQL, just put here. And of course, you can define like the ID, you can make the connection with later on from the template. But yeah, for now, let's make it static. So I'm going to update the post and set the answer text equals to, you can check via Bing. And this is for the ID equals to 2. Let me run. Then for ID equals to 2, at the first, I put the study with friends. So if I refresh, now it changed become, you can check via Bing. And then let's also close again this one. And we can also delete. Okay. We can delete the data using the SQL delete. So delete from post where ID equals to 2. And then connection, execute the statement, and then do not forget to commit. So let's see. Delete completed. So I can check now. Yeah, the ID2 has been removed. Now we have only the ID1 and ID3. Okay, to avoid some mistakes on the later part, let's just put also the comment for this SQL demo. Okay. So this is only the variation. Okay. It means whenever you do with the database, later on you will need to check the data which is which satisfy some kind of condition. And also we can do with the order by. So the most common comments on the SQL is order by and where. So you can do with other comments, okay, but let's just focus on these two, order by and where. The power of order by: database returns data in order it was inserted. So if you put the number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4 in the ID, so whenever you select the data, it will show based on this order: 1, 2, 3, 4. But we sometimes need to change the order. So I do not want to use the order from the database. I want to use another kind of order. Then you can satisfy this order by, for example, yeah, I want to order by the date. Then it means I want to select star from post ordered by created at by descending. So descending means from the latest one. Or I want to do the selection sorted by alphabetically. So from the A, B, C, D, E. Then select star from post order by answer text ASC. ASC means ascending. So SC is from the A until Z. DESC or descending is from the Z until A. Or let's say I'm going to check based on the popularity. So how many people who like the answers? Then I can select from post order by like, and then I can put descending. Yeah, so this is a matter of the order by. You can check this one. I'm doing in the console. So here, select from post order by created date. So this is sorted by the created date. Select star from post order by the answer text. So you can select based on the answer text. You can see now the order is from check at Google. C. Okay. C comes first, then W, even though the ID is 3. Okay. And yeah, by the popularity. See if okay, because our data has limited only 2 data. The first row has like equal 15 and the other has this like 20 and the other is 0. Then this will be the first and this will be the second. We can use where. So where is something like the condition. For example, yeah, I want to filter posts where like equals to 5. So I want to focus where the like equals to 5. Then it means I'm just looking at this data. So the other data on the post will not appear because we have the condition. Like should be higher than 5. Or I can combine the filtering and the sort. For example, I want to select from the post. I want to select from the post where the like is higher than 5, ordered by created at by descending value. So if I run this, okay, because I have only one data, so it is not clear about this one. But if you create another data, maybe you can see this one. So there are some variation about the operator. Okay, you can do by yourself. For example, I want to check whether the value is greater than. So you can use this one. Whether the value is less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. So the operator, you can select this one, or not equal to. Not equal to means, yeah, if you know the mathematical equation is something like this one. But in the SQL, it is impossible to use this command. So they provide this one, less than and greater than. This is not equal to, or using this one, exclamatory sign equal. So these two represent not equal to. Okay, now let's have a challenge. Find all posts that have more than 0 likes, but are not the answer. What's YouTube? Sort them so the most like is at the top. So what is the SQL? Find all posts. It means I'm going to search for all the posts. Then I'm using select start from post. So I need to check where the posts have more than 0 like. Then I have condition where like is higher than 0, more than 0. But the answer not what you do. So it's about condition. So in the SQL, we have a kind of operator similar to Python, like AND and OR. So you can have AND. What is it? The answer text is not equal, or you can use also like this one, the same. Not equal what's YouTube. And then sort them so the most like is at the top. Sorting means I'm going to use the order by. Order by like, and then the most like is at the top. Then it means I'm going to use the descending. For an SQL, you need to complete with the semicolon. And this will be the SQL. Okay. So that's all for today. So we learned about the basic database, the GUI for the DB, and then the SQL. Okay. Any questions?